Salter.
Here.
I'm here. Dr. Outlaw. Here. Jan Meek.
Here.
Christy Span.
Here.
Mackenzie Olivia.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say.
Mackenzie
I
slash
did,
Courtney.
Nita wasn't good.
I saw the back of her hair. Like
Mackenzie's an understudy.
Okay, if everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first up this evening is we have a school showcase for Oakwood Elementary.
Brendan, you guys go over there. Just right here. Great, stand right here. Right here. You can turn and face the board. Carter, you guys right in the middle. And then Owen, right here. All right, there you go. You guys are going to have to talk really loud with your turn, okay? It's not working. So, good evening. Thank you for letting us have this opportunity for showcasing some of the awesome things going on at Oakwood Elementary. Tonight, I'm here with a lot of helpers. So I've got with me 2 third grade teachers, Ms. Shantz and Mrs. Rusin. And then, of course, the experts are here too. We have Natalie and Owen, Ella, Stella, Carter, Lena, and Brendan. And they're going to be sharing some of the things that they wanted to share about Seesaw. But first I want to say a couple things about it, and the teachers share a few things, and then we're going to, like I say, turn it over to the experts. So I wanted to share a little bit about something that's a really important district initiative, and also something important to Oakwood, which is getting families involved with their students' classrooms and big activities going on with them in their classrooms. So one of the things our teachers unanimously agreed to use last year was Seesaw, and that's an online digital portfolio. And as you see, Seesaw says their whole goal is to empower students and engage families, which is exactly what we wanted. So everyone started using it. And I guess the one thing that Seesaw is for me is that it gets rid of that age-old problem of kids being asked, what did you do at school today? And then responding, nothing. We can no longer do that. Parents have more focused questions to ask them due to using Seesaw, and it really helps communication between parents, students, and their teachers on a regular, ongoing basis, in real time too. So I'm going to turn it over and let the teachers tell you a little bit more, and then we'll let the kids share a little bit of their favorite things about Seesaw.
All right, the way that we use Seesaw is that it houses evidence of student learning, and we're able to share that evidence with parents right away.
And we post announcements for parents, exciting things happening in the classroom. And we provide a platform for blogging, a safe platform for students to blog about their thoughts or read aloud that we're doing in class or their book clubs. And so then we're going to let Natalie start and Owen, and they're going to tell you how they use Seesaw in class.
We post things that we are working on in class: word study, sports, writing, math, social studies, science discussions, reading, art projects, our goals, music, composition, and much more. We record our voices, reading our work to our families. For example, reading passages told us in our own right. My teacher.
How does their teacher use it? Go ahead, Ella.
Look at our work, comments to our work, tells us what is awesome, tells us what we need to improve. Tells parents if there's something going on in class, like pajama day, special events, or other cool things. At home, my parents and I talk about how amazing my work was. Ask, what is this about? Ask me to tell them more about a project. Ask, talk about how school has changed from when they were kids.
A lot. Yeah, haircut. And they've brought, the next thing that they want to do to wrap our little presentation up is they've brought their iPads and they've selected some items that they've posted on Seesaw that they want to share with you. So we'll just have them each match up and kind of show you a couple of things on Seesaw so you can see what it looks like and how it works and some of the comments that they've had with parents and so forth. Go ahead. You parents, just walk them all around. We'll end over here.
All the way?
Yeah, all the way.
Oh, wait, sorry.
And this
Bring you all the way over here.
Keep going. So, Brendan, you're going to stop with the Seesaw.
All right, let's start right here.
So we're going to put you in the Seesaw. Yeah, Lena, you're going to stay here. Right here, Carter.
Dad and that captions with my positive, but this is so fun and Dad made us all I'm trying to tell you
Just a crew loop.
no, he said that no. We can, but we have to have our
Don't you wish you had that for your kids in elementary school? I wish
I know.
Good work.
Other instrument
Don't you wish you had that when your kids were in elementary school? That's what I keep wishing. My kids aren't so far out, but I wish they had that when I was in elementary school or when I was teaching a class. It's a really great tool. So that's it.
You know, what's interesting was how much stuff that was in there. You know, she was scrolling through things over and over again, and there was an awful lot of stuff in there, which indicates to me that they're putting a lot of use in it, a lot of stuff in there, so a lot of content. It's really good.
There is. And Seesaw got wise to us because we were having it where teachers who are departmentalized and teach all the students could post on one another's, all the kids, but now we want to charge them per child. So now it's just each homeroom teacher posting to their students' site. But it's still a really great tool. And we're working on that.
There's a hook to everything in there.
They bait you into that when you switch the rules, right? But it's still working for us, so, yeah.
I did see, what did you have, like a 96% parents at your conferences?
Yes.
I thought that was very good. I don't know if that's typical for elementary, but that's hats off to Oakwood and the parents and the engagement. That's great. That was good to hear.
Yeah, it's a good, definitely.
It's nice that you're involved. That's one of the things, you know, we've talked about over and over again, how parental involvement is so critical, but it's oftentimes very difficult to get. And it sounds like you've got a really good level with your school, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, parents.
All right. Yeah,
Yes,
thanks
thanks
for bringing
everybody,
them.
appreciate it.
And thanks.
All right. Now, ladies, it's your turn.
Okay.
You have any iPads or anything, Joe?
Oh, no. All right, so hi. So there was basketball, POMs, wrestling, boys swim, bowling, and cheer tryouts last week. So practices are just starting, so we don't have any news on that. The annual blood drive for VHS was last Thursday. We had so many sign-ups and donors. We reached and exceeded our goal of 45 donors. Some other past events this month was the Can Food Drive. The fall play this last weekend was spectacular and brought out a huge crowd. And then we are also planning a toy drive for November 28th through December 8th but it hasn't been approved yet, so still in the works. Yep. Our 7th annual charity week is December 12th through the 16th. We're starting it on Monday the 12th with penny wars between classes, along with a cash competition between $6. Tuesday we're having you can wear a hat for $1, and then a fundraiser at McPhee's that night. And on Wednesday we're doing breakfast vendors. Thursday you can wear PJs for $1 and a fundraiser at Bullfrogs that night. And then on Friday we have Mr. which is where students can pay money to miss one class and play games in the gym. And then all of these proceeds will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, along with the proceeds from BHS's lip sync battle on December 14th. For the lip sync battle, there's a $2 admission fee, and there will also be a baby sale. So seniors turned in their forms for their cap and gowns, taking that next step towards graduation. LEAP crew members also wrote inspiring and positive messages to students on the bathroom mirrors to spread some sunshine throughout the school. It was really nice. It was on a lot of Snapchat stories. Is there any questions?
Corey, how did you possibly get this job away from Mackenzie?
She had to work.
We've heard it's really a coveted position.
Courtney's all excited. She said, "Oh, this is so cool. I can definitely do this for a living."
It doesn't pay anything.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Dr. Outlaw, it's your turn.
I'm actually going to yield to Chris Dinas. I've asked Chris to come to start doing something at the end of each of our athletic seasons to come give a report on how the previous season went. So Chris is going to talk about fall sports.
Yeah, good evening. Just want to give a quick highlight of the fall season, kind of recap. We had a girls golfer individual, senior Skylar Koshin, who finished 3rd at regionals and qualified for the Division II state finals golf meet. So hats off to her. Girls swim just finished up recently, but we had a sophomore, Emily Sosnowski, who placed 11th at regionals, and she also qualified for the state diving competition this past weekend. So hats off to her. Our football team finished 2nd in the league and qualified for the Division III playoffs, which built some excitement for the fall as well. And our boys soccer team repeated as Flint Metro League champs and unfortunately lost in the district championship to Notre Dame Prep. So at a highlight of the boys soccer season, we had 5 athletes this year named to the all-state team. So 1 first-teamer, 1 second-teamer, 1 third-teamer, and 2 honorable mention for the all-state soccer team. So very good to our fall sports programs. Academically, we had 228 student athletes participating in fall sports. 67 of those fall athletes earned our Brandon Scholar Athlete Award for the fall. And of those 67, 38 of those athletes also earned the Flint Metro Scholar Athlete Award. Like the girl said, our winter sports are in full swing right now. We have a new boys swimming and diving coach, head coach Marty Cordemus is taking over that program. And we have JV girls and JV boys new coaches for basketball as well. As of Friday, our winter participation numbers are at about 154 student athletes for the winter season. So that's JV and varsity girls basketball, 3 boys basketball teams, wrestling, hockey, cheer, poms, and boys and girls bowling. This winter we're going to be hosting several tournaments. We have a wrestling tournament on January 21st. In February we'll be hosting Palm Spirit Shine competition on February 4th and 5th. And then we'll also be hosting our Brandon Cheer competition on February 11th. We put in to host several MHSAA tournaments. We're just waiting to hear whether or not we receive those tournaments or not. Another big upcoming thing this winter that we'll be doing, continuing that started last year, was the Flint Metro League versus the GAC Coaches versus Cancer Challenge basketball competition. That will be February 6th and 7th. Our boys team plays at Hamady, and our girls will host Bendel for that competition. There'll be more information coming out after the holiday break. And then the last little update that I wanted to make everyone aware of, in case you didn't see it in the paper, the Flint Metro League is expanding starting next year. Owasso will be joining our league as the 9th member school. So kind of a little fall wrap up and a winter preview. Any questions?
How many schools more?
9. It'll be 9 with Owasso.
How far is the last
52 miles one way, I believe.
Were they in some other league then, or?
They were in the capital area athletics conference, so the Lansing area. And they associate more with the Flint area, so the Flint Metro is a better fit for them. Any other questions?
Until we did.
They needed
Just long haul.
And how do they get in our league?
There's an application process, and then the athletic directors review it, and we make a recommendation to the Metro League principals, and the Metro League principals officially vote on it.
So anyone can apply anytime?
Not anyone. Actually, I was made aware that the Flint Metro League sent out a media press release that they were looking to expand, and they were looking for small Class A schools to join.
There were two schools, when Flushing came in, after Lapeer left, the two schools, Flushing was one of them.
Flushing is a,
Yeah, but we took Flushing, the other one they didn't take.
okay.
And then it was closer than Morris, what was that? No, it doesn't matter.
Any other questions?
All right, thanks, appreciate it, Chris. All right, anything you want to add, Walter?
I think just one last thing. Obviously, Thanksgiving's here, and we have a lot to be thankful here in the district. I just want to thank all of our teachers, our students, and our parents for everything that they're doing. It's been a great start to the year, and very thankful for all their efforts.
We second that. Thanks. Okay, do we have any public comments or questions on our agenda business this evening before we get into the action? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to approval of our consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor of approval of our consent agenda as presented, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda passes. Next thing we're down to is the information discussion items. Jan, anything with finance?
Just a couple things tonight. I just wanted to let the board know that the safety or security system, fire security system, work was started today. 2 o'clock today, they were going to work up till 2 in the morning. Obviously, they can only work when they kick out the session. We're on track to have it completed by the Christmas break, so we're going to be back from Christmas. We should no longer need the Danvers security. So we're on schedule. Matt and I thought, could it really take 3 months? That it's going to be a 3-month project. So, second thing, you'll be voting tonight on the boiler, the heat exchangers. I did want to let you know that we are pursuing, doing everything we can to pursue the warranty. We're a month short of the warranty. The letter's been sent to them. I had their attorney call us. She was not happy about the letter, but we had to send the letter, put it in writing. So we're doing what we can. That would be about $45,000 back to us, and the total cost of $65,000. So we're trying. And, you know, we really believe that this is an effective product.
Good.
Just so I understand it, we're a month beyond.
No, we're a month before the warranty would expire in December.
1 month.
So we just came in under, so we're the timing is fine in terms of the warranty. The way it works, just real quick, is the contract language, which, you know, they really have all the leverage, because we have to send the product to them in Pennsylvania on our cross shipping, and then they send it out to their lab, and then their lab determines what the problem was. So, you know, they may come up with the fact that we didn't really do whatever we were supposed to do. So we've been talking about this, and, you know, so we'll see. We'll go from there, but we're trying.
Jan, can I ask one clarification question? On the action item, it says cost for performance bond.
Yes.
Could you just talk about what that exactly is?
We have to have a performance bond, and this is considered construction, a project like this, and it's more or less insurance. So if something goes wrong or the contractor doesn't do what they're supposed to do, kind of thing, and we have to pay that. So if by last Thursday, we didn't know what the cost of that was going to be. That's why I think the original was, what's the wording here, just the cost of the bond. It's actually $1,200. So the total contract.
All the work.
Yes, that's the cost of the bond. Yeah.
And is the quote given, I'm assuming that's incorporating a new warranty or? both
Yes,
fees as well?
yeah, that includes the actual product plus the installation, that's the total price. So the labor part, we will not get reimbursed for, but we figure the product is about $45,000, so if we can get all of that back, we're trying.
Are we getting the same product we've got before?
Yeah.
Well, it should actually help us, I would think, in our claim for warranty, because they're essentially getting
We
more
would
business.
think,
out of it.
because, the first set failed within 5 years after Oakwood was built. This is the second set within 5 years. John Thompson tells me that one set should last 20 years.
Yeah.
So logic would say that perhaps there's a problem with the product.
Yeah.
At one point or another, I don't want to keep dealing with those people.
We
I'd
don't,
rather
I-
cut my losses and go to somebody else.
I wanted to do that as well, but John said we have to go with the same product.
So what's keeping the building warm down?
Well, one of the heat exchangers is completely down, and so we have one. Fortunately, it's been warm, but the guys, our maintenance guys, are putting water in every night and every morning. So we knew that we couldn't continue to rely on that, so that's why we considered this an emergency purchase to get this going.
Is this product failing anywhere else?
How would we know? They're not going to admit that to us, although yes, I think they have had problems, actually, but they're going back on the water, and we every 3 months do testing, and they're going to find some reason not to.
Well, that was my question. If it's failed twice in 5 years, are we doing something wrong, or are they failing on others?
Well, and I
who are
did
following?
bring Mark Evans in one day, and Mark and I and John talked, because Mark has the history, he's been here, and he assured me that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and we went through the contract. We did talk to Jeremy, because there's a lot of money here, so we want to make sure we have our legal weighing in on this. So we'll see what they say, and we'll let you know, what point do we want to continue to fight. If they decide they don't want to pay us, we have to, at that point.
When will this be fixed? If this is
Oh, the purchase order's been done. They're coming soon. I think they were supposed to start this week.
Okay.
Yeah, because we know the weather, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is heat in Oakwood.
Anything else for Jan? Okay. Christie?
So I know that most of you have already listened to this once, but just a quick recap around our third grade reading legislation that was passed in October of this year. Michigan has really taken a stance that we need to elevate the importance of reading. When you look at the data across the country, Michigan comes in 49th out of 50 in terms of reading proficiency. What really was the impetus for this new legislation. There are requirements about what districts need to be providing, interventions they need to provide, taking advantage of literacy coaches at the intermediate school district level, making sure that we're using NWEA or some other type of assessment. Anyway, everything that's listed out in the law are things that we are currently doing and looking at ways to continually improve. Literacy education is something we've taken to heart for a number of years now, is evidenced by our investment in reading recovery and literacy coaches and the labs that we've done for professional development purposes with our teachers. But it's something that we will continue to work on. Our NWEA scores show that we're improving. Nevertheless, continue looking at what we can do to reach our youngsters even better and earlier, so that by third grade they really are demonstrating this is a proficiency on the MSTEP, or whatever test the state is using as we go forward.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our action items. Approval of property sale for the Oakwood property in the amount of $184,000. Do we have a motion?
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the sale of Oakwood property in the amount of $184,000.
Second?
Okay, we have any discussion on this matter? I know we talked about it in our work session, but is there any more discussion that we want? We've talked about the Oakwood property. It's 20-some acres. We had it for sale for $199,000. We've accepted an offer for $184,000. The net to the district is about $167,000, is that the correct number? That we would end up, and then as Jan explained before, because it was bought with bond money, that may have to move towards our debt reduction fund. Is that an accurate summary of the situation? Any discussion, comments, questions, anything else before we vote? Okay. All those in favor of approving the sale of the Oakwood property, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? Okay, the property sale is approved. Second item, approval of our 8th grade out-of-state trip to Washington, D.C. on October 18th through the 23rd, 2017, as presented. Motion?
I move the Brandon Board of Education approve the 8th grade out-of-state overnight trip to Washington, D.C. October 18th through the 23rd of 2017, as presented.
Support.
First of all,
Yes.
All right. Anything you'd like to speak about that? I know it's been your baby now for a few years, and you've done an excellent job with that, so we'll give you your opportunity if you'd like.
I heard the question in Chris's voice about the date change. A couple of the primary reasons is in the spring, we face a lot of testing that the kids have to do. If we move it to the fall, there's less testing that we have to dodge and get in between. Also, every 4 years, we get to witness preparations for an election. The kids will get to see that. Also, weather is a consideration. 2 years ago, we had a trip where we were delayed en route there due to snow. In March, Michigan, Ohio is vulnerable. You know, we're still vulnerable to October, but not quite as much. And I believe we scheduled it at a time where it's at the end of the fall season, and we've made a commitment to the, particularly the 8th grade girls basketball team and football teams. We're hoping that working with Chris, we'll be able to move those games maybe to a 4 o'clock time, and then if it's away or home, to make sure that anybody on those teams will be able to come back. So it's not that big of an issue with that from our perspective, and I don't think it would be with this.
Good. As long as you've done your homework, as usual, it's pretty thoroughly nailed down.
And already we've presented to this year's 7th graders for next year, given opportunities to get on the payment plan. And currently we have about 45 students and 2 parents signed up for next year already. And just, you know, for the board's awareness, the parents have signed up as equal to students, that they're not going along to chaperone, but they are going because they're concerned about their child. So they will be treated as other students per se, treated with respect, but they are paying customers as well.
how many do you usually take?
This year, as of today, we have 73 with 1 in double secret probation. Trying to work with him, trying to help him mature. Year before we took 78, year before that 85, and then year before that I think it was around 38.
So you kind of, on your roll again, you're pretty much between 75 and 85 per trip.
Exactly.
Is that about what the capacity is, or not?
There is no capacity limit. That, you know, if we have 200 students and they're all eligible and willing to go, we could take them all.
Okay.
You know, the hard part would be getting chaperoned, but right now I have a waiting list every year.
Excellent.
You're still doing Washington, D.C., and then you're taking Mount Vernon, and you went through Philadelphia, didn't you?
And we do every year. Philadelphia is one of our main stops. This year we're actually going to Mount Peeler instead of Monticello, where we went last year and the year before, Mount Vernon. Mount Peeler is James Madison's plantation, which is not far from Washington and Jefferson. And basically it's for me to get an idea of which one's best. And if I had to choose between Jefferson and Washington, I'd probably go with Madison, just for the simple fact that they've rebuilt all this stuff and it's awesome. And my recommendation someday may be alternated every 3 years because they're not far and it wouldn't increase any time. They're awesome. Last year we went to Jefferson's, and what they've done with this plantation from when I went 20 years ago is just phenomenal. The visitor center and the presentation beforehand. And that's coming from Mount Vernon, where I was just in Austria. So I'm looking forward to Mount Peeler this year.
Excellent.
That's a great idea.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, any other discussion points on the Washington DC trip? Okay, all those in favor of approving the 8th grade out-of-state overnight trip to Washington DC as presented, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, enjoy your trip.
Looking forward to it.
All right, the next item we had removed from the agenda, which was the approval of the engagement letter for Bel-Ann and Sherman Court. And we, on our work session, said we were going to have a presentation in December from Plant Moran regarding this topic. So our last action item is approval of the quote for 2 heat exchangers for Oakwood Elementary from Johnson & Wood Mechanical Contractors in the amount of $63,907 for labor and material, plus the cost of the performance bond, which was $1,125. Do we have a motion for this?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the quote from Johnson & Wood Mechanical Contractors for 2 heat exchangers for Oakwood Elementary in the amount of $63,907 for labor and material as presented, plus the cost for the performance bond, which is $1,125.
Support.
Okay, any discussion on this beyond what we heard from Jan earlier regarding the need and the situation?
I do have a question. The first system we would have failed, did we get warranty? Was that still under warranty, or did they honor?
It was under warranty, and we were trying to figure out if we actually did pay for that. At first, we thought we did. Deb was digging through all the files. I don't think they fought it as much because they replaced it with our money, not general fund.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
This may be silly, but are there any steps taken, very thinking that kindly that they're going to, thinking the worst, I guess, but are there any steps to be taken before we ship this off, these items off? I'm thinking very simplistically,
right,
having another independent party come in and do an assessment, you know, if we pay them by the hour and they make it, you know, draw a conclusion. Granted, they can argue that that's not accurate as well, taking pictures, I don't know. It's just, this is a very, once they're released.
That's right, yeah. That is a great question. Let me talk to John. I brought it up with him, and let me bring it up again.
It's certainly not
You're
surefire.
right, once we,
Yeah.
right, but
Yeah.
if we were to end up in a court situation, we might have a little
Better to
bit
have
more
it than not.
Yeah.
They're going to, they're not.
That's a great question. Okay.
They're not going to say, oh, we waved the flag because you have, you know, this evidence, but at least it's something.
Yes, right, better than nothing. And I think John had said, well, it's their product and they know the intricacies, blah, 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 but let me talk to him again.
I can't be convinced
They
that
apparently
there
go to all of
isn't.
them.
Yeah,
you know.
I can't be convinced that there's got to be somebody in the area that would have an expertise.
I agree.
You know, a valid expertise that could come in and weigh in on.
Do an assessment.
Well,
of our costs.
let me ask you this. It was Johnson & Wood who replaced the last ones?
Yeah, they're the installer.
Okay, but,
Patterson Kelly is Patterson Kelly is they're the manufacturer of the product.
I'm kind of going back to Lisa's point, whether, you know, do Johnson & Wood have somewhat of an expert opinion because they were the ones who were the installer. They obviously have experience dealing with the
They weren't
product.
the installer last time.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
And the first time it was determined that they were installed incorrectly. So then we use the same installer now. We're going with John. We got 3 quotes, and Johnson Wood was better quote, more comfortable.
All right.
Yeah,
It might be worth at least consulting with Johnson & Wood with their expertise, so to speak, to see.
Definitely. We'll
what
talk to
their-
Mark tomorrow first thing.
But if Johnson Wood is hired by the seller of the product, they're a little bit in pocket.
That could be, yeah.
So,
Okay, we'll bring Mark and John in tomorrow. Okay, because Mark has been here for years. Right, okay. Good. Excellent. Whatever we can do to bolster it, please.
Yeah, it sounds like, in summary, that's exactly what Lisa's saying, right?
What
Anything
we're
to do to
trying.
bolster our case before we release the product.
Right.
Accurate.
once they're gone, we might as well make the decision right there what it's worth for us to fight it, because it's going to be close to a miracle if
that's what I thought, and now John is more optimistic, and, you know, he's been in the
Yeah.
industry for a long time, and he's seen that it's worked out in favor.
Sure.
But, you know, that's why I thought it was really important for that initial letter to come from the attorney and be kind of, you know, like, we're taking a hard stand here, so, and it did catch their attention, because she called their attorney, so, I think it's great point, so I'll have to.
I hate to be pessimistic, but chance papers to prepare.
Get some type of somebody here to inspect it, do some testing or something.
But good initiative for, you know, you and John or whoever it was that thought of doing this in the first place. That was good, rather than just not letting it ride. So thank you for that.
Yeah. It's a lot of money,
It is.
and it's ridiculous to have to do this twice.
I agree. Okay, any further discussion on the topic? Okay, on the vote, all those in favor of approving the quote from Johnson and Wood Mechanical Contractors plus the performance bond, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Any citizens input this evening before we wrap up our session? All right, hearing none, could I get a vote to move into closed session for discussing the superintendent's evaluation?
I make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss superintendent evaluation.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of moving to closed session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent's evaluation, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move into closed session. Thank you, everybody.